Welcome back. Turning Point USA announcing details of Charlie Kirk's memorial this week with an event planned for next Sunday to celebrate Charlie's life at State Farm Football Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. The venue able to hold more than 70,000 people. President Trump, many of his cabinet members, and Republican congressional leaders expected there Sunday. Joining me now is the executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show, Turning Point USA spokesman and business partner and friend of Charlie Kirk. Andrew Kolvet is with me. Andrew, my condolences to you. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, Maria. I'm doing, awful in some ways, but I've been incredibly amazed, uplifted, encouraged by the outpouring of support that we've seen, not just in the United States, but we've seen that the impact that Charlie was having across the world. And it's been truly amazing to see that when such a terrible act has happened, that, you know, the people that loved him most, they're not rioting, they're not burning down cities or businesses, they're praying and they're lighting candles in his honor, and they're expressing the grief that they feel, that we all feel, in their own way, in their own beautiful way. And that's been amazing for, I know, me to see, but also for his wife, Erica, and for the entire Turning Point team, for the Charlie Kirk Show team. And we're honored by the way that the world has chosen to honor Charlie.
And why do you think he resonated so much? I mean, look, you're right. It's not just in America, by the way. We saw vigils in London. We saw vigils in Australia, beyond. So tell me about Charlie Kirk, the man. We read a lot online, but you knew him really well. You were his business partner now for 8 years. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm humbled that I got to spend so much time with a legend, a man that will go down in history, a man that belongs to history now. And I got to see him up close on a day-to-day basis, and we'll see how he built the organization that he built, and built the family that he built, and the team members that surrounded him. He has the best team, and they're still working extraordinarily hard. Many of them are not even sleeping. They're trying to put everything together to launch forward stronger, as I think Charlie would want us to do. And I can say this because I saw Charlie at the lowest points. I saw him at the highest points. And everything that you see on, you know, whether it's his debates or his stage presence and these videos that now will live on long after him, for generations, I hope, is that as good as he was at those things, he was even better in person. He had more integrity than you can imagine. He was loyal and good and decent to the people around him, to his staff, to his family, to his wife, Erica. The reason he resonated, I believe, so widely and so broadly across the world, Maria, is because he himself was good. And it was a message sown across the world out of a place of integrity and honesty and decency.
That's right.
And I think you can't emulate that, you can't fake that, and it comes through, and people can see just how straightforward and honest and good he was behind the scenes, and it comes through in those public settings.
I want to hear more about the man and the movement. We're going to take a break and come back. I also want to hear about that low point and high point next with you, Andrew. Stay with us. I'm back with the executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show, Turning Point USA spokesman, Andrew Kolvet. Andrew, how do you want Charlie to be remembered, and how do you want to honor him?
I want Charlie to be remembered for his great faith, because that's how he wanted to be remembered, for his courage and his faith. And, you know, it's been said that the blood of the martyrs is the seeds of the church. It's the seeds of the church. And we're going to see great faith rise up across the country from this. I believe it in the world. And so my request is that if you want to honor Charlie today, it is Sunday, Maria, go back to church, open your Bible, pray, ask God to lead you. That's what he wanted. He was not a revolutionary.
Yes, that's right.
He actually loved this country. He did not want blood in the streets. He wanted revival.
Andrew Kolvet, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.